But so today I wanted to share with you guys about the time that I had a horrible client, okay? Now, this client actually filed 14 false accusations against me to the Real Estate Commission. You may have heard me tell a little bit of the story before, but I figured if we're talking about juicy stuff, you know, we gotta talk about this one. So, y'all, this is back in the day. This is pre-COVID time, or PC as we should call it. But, so I had a home for sale in Concord. It was a ranch style home, and I got what is called a signed call. So somebody called and reached out to me about this property, and they wanted to take a look at it. Now, this property had already went under contract, and we got to talking, and they decided to hire me to help them purchase their home, okay? And so everything is cool. We start working together, and y'all know, if you're a professional realtor, you know there's red flags out there, and we ride by a lot of them and just try not to look at them. But of course there were the red flags. You know, working with couples, sometimes couples can be combative with each other, sometimes they cannot be on the same page, you know, but no like unusual red flags, okay? But so started working with them, started showing them homes, and I believe we had made an offer on their property and they got beat out by a competing offer. And then we were out, after that, they were very disappointed, okay? And so we were out looking at properties again, and a property had just popped up on the market, and this was out in Mooresville. And it was close to the lake. It was in a lake community, and it had the boat slip, checked all the boxes that they wanted, okay? So this property had actually been under contract before with another buyer and had just came back up on the market, for them to go and check it out, okay? So that's what we did. And so we go check out this property, and they absolutely love it. Now, this home had, like I said, already been under contract, already had a home inspection report and stuff like that. And I told them, I'm like, hey, we can take a look at this. However, property condition can change. So I definitely encourage you to have another inspection done. If you don't, then you're gonna be waiving that right to the inspection. So the wife had some concerns about mold, because she was very sensitive to mold in a former home that they had lived in. So there was some higher levels of moisture in the crawl space, so they were very, very concerned. So we go under contract on this property, of course, and it just so happened I had done a previous deal with the listing agent, okay? And I told my clients that I was like, hey, I have actually worked with this listing agent before. He is a great guy. We've had a great transaction before. Like, let me give him a call and see if there's anything I can find out about this property. So give him a call. That's when we get the home inspection. We get the details, what happened with the previous buyer and stuff. Share that with my clients. Everything is good. So like I said, they went under contract on this property, and then within 48 hours of going under contract on this property, you know, your lender sends you all this stuff. It's called disclosures, preliminary disclosures or whatever, so that you can, you know, fill out these documents and stuff like that. Well, come to find out, the buyer lied. Could you imagine? In the wise words of Bill Gallagher, buyers are liars. But this man lied, y'all. And not only did he lied on his loan application, okay? And he lied on his loan application, and when it was discovered that he had lied, he was not going to qualify for the financing product that he desired, okay? Not saying he wouldn't qualify for any financing, okay? He would not qualify for his desired financing. So he hits the roof, y'all. He hits the absolute roof. And he started getting very combative. He started getting very, you know, irate, very upset. And it was my idea for us to get together and talk about it. You know, I was like, let's get together and have dinner or something, talk about it, and we can, you know, we could see what's going on. We had just had their personal home inspection performed, I believe, or maybe we hadn't got there yet. But we'd only been under contract like 2 or 3 days, okay? So we call this meeting together. It's me, the lender, and these crazy people, y'all. And we go to Fox and Hound in University, I believe it was. So I get there, clients are already sitting there, cool, you know, and I go in, I'm like, hey, and pleasant as hell. Pleasant as they had always had been. You know, he had shared with me that he was looking at potential job prospects and different stuff like that. He had been offered a position. You know, we're just shooting the breeze and stuff. Everything is cool. My lender gets there and we sit down, and y'all, we were probably 3 minutes from there when all hell, you know, broke loose up in there. And this is probably one of the top 5 most embarrassing moments that I've ever had as a realtor. But so we're sitting there at this restaurant, and they are locals at this restaurant. They go up in there and be drinking and stuff and hanging out all the time. So all of the servers, the bartenders and stuff, you know, love these people. And so we're there, and the gentleman starts getting very, very upset, and he starts to raise his voice. And the stuff that he is saying, y'all, is that we had fraudulently led him into this contract, and he was just, I can't even, honestly, it's been so long, thank God I don't remember all the things that he said, but he was just talking all this craziness, and accused me of lying, accused me of just like all this stuff. But ultimately what it was is that he had lied on his loan application. It was brought to light, and when it was brought to light, his ego hit the wall, and he just could not take it. And we tried to have a conversation. We tried to do it, and he was cussing, screaming, tossing, like, he didn't throw anything, but he like slid something aggressively over the table or whatever. And it had got to the point where I was just like, okay, this is enough. We're gonna call this, and it's just gonna be dead. We're gonna pay our tab, and we're gonna go. And at that moment, he was wanting to terminate the contract, okay? Now, he had been drinking some alcohol, okay? And as a realtor, you know, we follow our clients' lawful direction, okay? However, this is like 8:30 in the evening, okay? And Darren ain't sending you a termination at 8:30 in the evening because we're going to be closed, okay? So the next morning, I reached out to his wife, and I apologized, and I was like, I'm so sorry it happened like that. If I would have known that he was going to act like that, I wouldn't have, you know, suggested that we actually get together in person for this meeting, because she was mortified. She was mortified, but she looked like she was used to it in a mortified kind of way. I'm not used to it, so I was livid, and I was like, this can't be real life. And then so I told her, I was like, I wanted to give y'all the night to sleep on it just to make sure that you do want to terminate. Again, it's your decision. I totally stand behind you if you want to terminate this contract. And then I just wanted to make sure that you weren't making a decision out of, you know, under the influence of alcohol, or that, you know, just out of anger. You've only been under contract for like 2 or 3 days. You still have plenty of time and due diligence to make any decisions. You've paid for this time. And she basically apologized a little bit, and then I made the mistake of telling her that I felt sorry for her. I was like, honestly, I feel sorry for you. Let me tell you, I pissed her husband off so bad. He went off on me. So then he proceeds to go off on me for probably the next 6 months, okay, in multiple ways. So his first thing was threatening me through the email and stuff. He wanted to you know, have his little threats and stuff like that, which didn't really bother me. I didn't really care. I was just like, even when you know you've done nothing wrong, you can still be emotionally connected to a situation or to, you know, some craziness just because you're trapped in the situation. I knew I had done nothing wrong at all. What honestly pissed me off the most wasn't the client. The firm I was with at the time, I reached out to my broker in charge, because that's, you know, what you should be doing when you have some crazy stuff going on. And y'all know my broker in charge told me he did not want to get involved. He did not want to be involved in the situation, and that he didn't say he didn't care, but that's essentially what it was. And I will tell you, that person is no longer a broker in charge and no longer in real estate. Praise the Lord. But I felt like I was on my own, you know, and I had done, you know, a lot for that firm. I had done a lot for, you know, helping onboarding the new agents and stuff like that. And I just felt some type of way. Cut to about a month later, I went to an event with a big team, a big, larger real estate person than me, by all means, like tenfold, okay? And guess who was there at that event? That broker in charge that could not be seen to help me during one of the hardest situations that I was dealing with. Somebody threatening to sue me and like harassing me every single day. And he could not be bothered to help me, but he could go to the puppet show for somebody else. And I was just like, okay. But that's not where we were. So long story short, homeboy filed 14 false accusations against me to the real estate commission. And this is back in the day when you used to get the brown envelope to your office. Nowadays, they'll probably just send you an email or something. But I got the notice. It was right before Christmas. So I had been out of the office for like a week. So when I got the notice, I had like 7 days to respond. But keep in mind, I've been selling real estate for almost a third of my life, and I have records of everything. So I just printed all my emails, sent the real estate commission a express mail package about this thick. And let me tell y'all, I put a table of contents in there. I put a timeline in there. I put everything in there to show how it was not true. And they did not ask me a single question. The real estate commission dismissed everything that was filed against me. And I just want other agents to know we take on so much freaking liability when we run up on the situation. Okay? And don't let people run up on you and throw their liability on you. Okay? If you're in an open house and you don't have an agency agreement with somebody and they come in or they come into your office trying to spill all this stuff on you, tell them to shut up. Tell them to be quiet, because you can't go to your doctor and run right past the receptionist and jump on the operating table. Real estate is the same way, guys. There are procedures and there are protocols, and you will look at documents before you get into a door, okay? And we need to realize that we take on a tremendous amount of liability when we're working with any client, okay? Whether that be a good client or a bad client, the liability is still there. Okay, and we have to get into a place to where we say no. Now, my very first client, I fired him because he was a racist asshole, y'all, and I did not realize that until we were already working together. But you will find that sometimes you have to let go of people, and sometimes you have to let go of clients just to move on. This year, so I'm a Libra, and so I think I'm personally triggered by when people lie, but this year I had a client tell 2 lies on me, and I had to fire them. Okay, now the first time that they lied on me, I was like making excuses for them because I was like, they're stressed out, they're this, they're that, whatever. And I had mentioned it to the husband, and we had kind of talked about it a little bit, but I brushed it off. Let me tell you, when that second lie came around, like a sack of bricks, and we had to cut ties. You know, we had to cut ties because all business is not good business, and you do not have to work with everybody. You need to determine who you want to work with and why you want to do it. You know, and don't try to give great value service to everybody, because a lot of people aren't worth your time. And I'm not saying that because they're never going to purchase a house. I'm just saying, like, my prayer has always been to be able to help the people who need my help. I don't ask to help the easiest people or the highest price points. I want to be a game changer. I want to help somebody level up in their situation. Okay, I don't want the easiest clients. I have enough experience that I can handle the hard clients. So I don't just want the easy files and stuff like that. However, if somebody is not going to respect you, you need to get in the wind. Okay, and take it from me, get into the wind quickly. Don't waste time, because if you don't, you're gonna be wrapped up in the tornado, guys. I love you. That's it for this episode of Ride and Learn. We're gonna run into this office and get some work done. I hope y'all have a great day, and I'll see you next time.